After an incredible breakout season from Bulls guard Coby White, in which he went from being a role player off the bench, scoring less than 10 points per game, to one of the best players on the Bulls roster as their lead guard and secondary scoring option, Coby was primed to win the Most Improved Player of the Year award, but as we received the results from voters on the award yesterday, Coby fell just short of winning it behind Tyrese Maxey, who blossomed into an all-star this season for the Philadelphia 76ers. But while I disagree with the NBA's voting to give the award to Maxey, and absolutely felt that Coby should have been the winner of the award for all the reasons I'll talk about in this video, I actually don't think it was as egregious as a lot of Bulls fans are making it out to be, that Coby was somehow robbed of the award. I know it's a controversial take, and I know that I'm going to be the minority in this opinion, but I'll explain further why the NBA didn't get this too far off in the video. So what's going on, everyone? You're listening to Bulls Central here. Hope you're all doing well. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I don't do this often, but about 50% of you watching are not subscribed. So I would greatly appreciate your sub if you like Bulls content to help the channel grow. Now let's first call out the votes and how they broke down. And as you see, this was a very close voting race between Tyrese Maxey and Coby White. I think I saw somewhere how they hadn't had a Most Improved Player of the Year award this close in voting since 2007, and Maxey just barely squeaking out Coby with 319 total points in voting to 305. Maxey getting 52 first place votes to Coby's 32. So while you can say that Coby was snubbed, that it was unfair, and it was a joke that Maxey won, it was very, very close. And Coby did get a lot of love across NBA voters. Now, in breaking down the numbers, it's pretty clear that year over year, Coby had a bigger jump just purely from a statistical standpoint. Yes, Maxey had the better overall season, but that's not how this award is measured. It's not about who the better player is, but who had the bigger improvement from the prior season. This comes from Chris at KLA Hoops, a great Bulls account, by the way, give him a follow. But you can see overall, Coby had a much bigger increase in his overall scoring, going from 9.7 points per game to 19.1. Maxey going from 20 to near 26. Coby saw a bigger increase in rebounds, assists, and a slight increase in field goal percentage, while Maxey actually saw a decrease in overall efficiency. Coby slightly increased his three-point shooting, while Maxey's also went down. And both players increased their overall usage, particularly their shot attempts, with Coby having the bigger increase. I think the biggest thing that gets me here is why Coby should have been favored over Tyrese Maxey is that as great of a season as Maxey had, he was already an established player, one who was well on his way to stardom as an up-and-coming player, and so Maxey's performance this year shouldn't come to be as much of a surprise or a shock when it compares to his overall improvement of that of Coby White. We could already see him starting to blossom into a star for the Sixers. Coby White, on the other hand, even though we talked about his growth and improvement last season when it came to his decision-making, his ball handling, and shooting efficiency, Coby was nothing more than a role player coming off the bench. Let's be real, he was an average player, a guy who you could sometimes rely upon as a scoring option off the bench, and that was about it. Like, let's not forget how most of us didn't even think that he was going to get the starting point guard role going into training camp, and we thought that Javon Carter was going to be that guy. How off were we on that one, right? So to see him go from that player last season, average role player, to a really good starter in this league, you could even say he was a borderline all-star this season, especially during some stretches. To go from that and make that kind of leap, in my opinion, as unbiased as I possibly can be, is a bigger improvement and standout from season to season compared to that of what we saw from Tyrese Maxey. Don't get me wrong, Maxey was just as deserving, but he wasn't on the same level of improvement that we saw from Coby White. Here is where I think Coby lost the award, though. Like, I know some people have been saying it's a popularity contest, that's why he didn't win. No, the biggest thing that prevented Coby from taking home the award was that Pascal Siakam fell on him in that transition play against the Indiana Pacers, a game the Bulls won in OT, I might add. But after that injury, Coby missed a few games, and when he came back, he just wasn't the same player, until really the final game of the season against the Knicks, and then the play-in, where he was fully back to being Coby, where he put up a career-high 42 points. But keep in mind, the playing game doesn't count towards the award. In fact, voting is done and completed before the playing games. But the shooting slump from Coby from that point forward after coming back from injury really took away Coby's ability to be the clear favorite to win the award. I even said a couple times in some of my post-game videos after Coby had a rough outing, this likely is going to be taking him out of the Most Improved Player of the Year award running, because voters, while they shouldn't do this, I'm sure it's hard not to, they're going to remember what's most fresh in their minds at the time of voting, and Coby closing out the season on not the best performance wasn't going to be in his favor, despite the fact that overall he had a great season on the whole. And of course, I think the other thing to consider was Kobe's first 15 to 20 games or so were not that great. In fact, if you go back when everyone was calling for Billy Donovan's head at the start of the year, when the Bulls got off to a horrible start, a lot of people were saying they need to take Kobe and Patrick Williams out of the starting lineup because they had such slow starts to the season. So I think it was a combination between the slow start, the slump at the end of the season after coming back from injury, and the fact that you had Maxey putting up some 50 pieces and holding down the fort, with Joel Embiid being out for a good portion of the season. The Sixers obviously having a better season overall than the Bulls did, finishing with 47 wins to the Bulls 39. I mean, these things weighed as a big factor in some voters not selecting Kobe as their first place vote for most improved player. Again, I think they're wrong because I believe Kobe absolutely deserved to win the award over Maxey, but I do think Maxey was also deserving. And so when I see Bulls fans saying this was an absolute joke, how could you possibly award this to Maxey? It was a popularity contest. Do they even know what this award means? It wasn't as egregious as some are making it out to be. I agree, the league got it wrong. Kobe deserved it more than Maxey did, but given how close it was, and considering some of the factors that likely prevented from Kobe winning it, I don't take too much issue with their decision. Like I said, I know it's a bit of a controversial take coming from a Bulls fan. I'm sure I'll hear about it in the comments, but that's where I stand on it. So let me know what you guys think. As always, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.